All right, so these are two more word problems that are very similar to each other, and we just have to kind of figure out how to change them based on the conditions. So number 11 says it takes Daryl 11 hours to clean the attic, and Ryan can clean the attic in 8 hours. How long would it take if they worked together? So here's the wrong way to do this. A lot of people would try to average it and say, well, the average of 11 and 8, if we just add those and divide by 2, that would be 9.5. This answer doesn't make sense, and I'll tell you why. If Ryan can clean the attic in 8 hours, it should stand to reason that if he has someone else helping him, it's going to be faster than 8 hours. If it only takes him 8 hours alone, then if you add other people, he's going to get it done faster. 9.5 is not faster than 8. So here's how to think about it, and hopefully you'll agree with this. Hopefully this will make sense. If Daryl takes 11 hours to clean the attic, that means he does 1/11th of the job every hour. So this is Daryl's hourly rate. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. If it takes him 11 hours, he does 1/11th of the job every hour. Okay, in that case, what's Ryan's hourly rate? Well, Ryan does his job in 8 hours, so that means he takes 1/8, or he finishes 1/8 of the job every hour. If we add Daryl's rate and Ryan's rate together, we should get their combined rate, and that's what we're being asked to find. Being asked to find their combined rate, so that's going to be, they do 1/x of the job every hour. We don't know what x is. It's the time that it's going to take them together. So now these are just adding fractions. We need to make a common denominator between 11 and 8. So I'll multiply this one by 8 and this one by 11. So this becomes 8 over 88, and this one becomes 11 over 88. That's going to equal 19 over 88, and remember that that equals this. That equals 1 over x. So how do we solve that? Well, this is a proportion, and we solve proportions by cross-multiplying. So if we cross-multiply, we'd have 19 times x equals 1 times 88, or 88. We'll divide that by 19, and x goes into 88, or sorry, 19 goes into 88. How many times is that? I believe it's 4 times, 4 and 12 19ths. So that's roughly, I don't have a calculator, but this is roughly 4.6 approximately. And does that make sense? Well, it sure does, because it took Ryan 8 hours. Now he has someone to help him, so the time is less. It's only 4.6 hours. So that seems to agree with at least common sense, that it should be less. All right, let's try this one right here. So it says Narachi can pick 40 bushels of apples in 11 hours. His friend Eugene helps him, and it only took 6.16 hours. How long would it take Eugene to do it alone? So let's set up the same type of equation. Here's Narachi's rate, and again, he's doing 1/11th an hour, because just like that other one, it takes him 11 hours. Eugene's rate we don't know, so he does 1x of the job per hour. We don't know what x is right now. Okay, their rate together, though, we know that they get 1.616 of the job done every hour, because it takes them that many hours total. So now what would we do with this? Well, we could solve for x by subtracting 1/11th from both sides. That goes away. We'll have 1 over x equals, and then this would be, I'm going to get a calculator right now, because this would be something that you'd want to do with a calculator. You can't easily do 1 over 6.16 without a calculator. So this is going to be 0.162 approximately. I'm not actually rounding this in the calculator, by the way. I'm just rounding it so I can write it on here. On the calculator, you want to keep that whole decimal. So if you have a TI-84, you're going to say answer minus 1 over 11 and put a parentheses around that. So 1/11th is like, well, actually we don't even need to know, but I think it's 0.0909 repeating. So what does that equal right there? That turns out to equal 0.0714. So that's roughly, that's about 1/14th, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that's 1/14th. By the way, if you want to know on the calculator how to change a decimal into a fraction, the way that you would do it, there's a button on the calculator called Math, and then if you go to Math, it's usually on the left side, about 3 down, you go to Frac, and that will change it. So I'm just going to do that right now to verify that this is 1/14th. So 1 over x equals 1 over 14. Well, that means x has to be 14. We can cross multiply, or we can just look at it and tell x has to be 14. So does that make sense? Well, if he takes 11 hours and Eugene takes 14, yes, it makes sense that together they could do it in about 6 hours. So that's how we would solve that.